Hello, welcome. Yes, it's season 1, episode 15 of UK Cowboys TV. You can see it's quite an intimate little evening for us tonight. It's just
Mm-hmm.
me and Brian tonight. We've got
Yeah,
people out on the piss because we're recording on a Friday night.
yeah,
We've also got people stuck in traffic and people left holding the baby
and people training.
and people training. So it just ends up being me and you, mate. So
That's
the
it.
people get a double dose of me and you this week.
And if they'd seen us for the last 10 minutes, they would have seen us talking nothing but college football.
I know, yeah. Slagging off Michigan.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a perfect Friday night for me.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're from Texas, we just don't care.
Texas football all the way.
Yes.
And don't you do that hand signal. Don't you do that hand signal.
It's no.
Well, anyway, we're here today to talk. Obviously, this is the pre-game show, so we're here to talk about the upcoming game, which obviously it's in the in the USA, but UK time is 1:00 in the morning on Monday. So
Yeah.
I'll be watching the early games, then go to bed. Usual early morning routine. Try and get cop as many Z's as we can. I
Yes.
don't know what your routine is. Exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah. And like the worst thing is, I've get in early for work on Monday and get stuff done.
Yeah.
So the joys of being America's team and being on Sunday night football. And while we're like this for the next 2 months, we're not getting a midday kickoff until the end of November.
Unless they flex a couple, which I think they will. I reckon they will flex.
Yeah, hopefully. Like everyone, and we're like 9-0 and 10-0. Like, I mean, it should be easy enough to flex us out into midday spots.
Oh yeah, which would be nice then, because then we get an early night. Because it always means that, like, this is how prepared I get myself. I don't know if everyone's the same, but my work on Monday, I try and clear out as much as I can on a Friday. So when I go into work on a Monday, because I'm driving around, I could, like the last couple of jobs on a Monday, pull into a services and sleep for a few hours. I just give it my thing away though. If my boss ever watches this.
Don't worry. I don't think my boss will ever watch this. Doesn't understand American football at all. But you know, being in an office job, it's not easy to sleep it off for a couple of hours. Maybe working from home is going to be ideal.
What you need to do is like find yourself a little corner where nobody goes and make it look like you know, like the old.
Yeah.
And then
I'm just in a 1-to-1 meeting.
Right. Anyway, I think we're babbling on enough beer now.
Yes.
We're here tonight to talk about the Saints game. So what we'll start off with. You what? Sorry.
Who dat?
Well, anyway, we'll look first, obviously, at the Cowboys' offense versus the Saints' offense. Now, basically, in terms of how the team's constructed offensively, the Saints and Cowboys are very, very similar in how they're matched.
It is scary how similar they're matched.
Yeah.
It's absolutely scary. I mean, I think if you looked at both of those teams, you're looking at a top 5 wide receiver on each team, a top 3 running back with each team, a top 5 offensive line.
Yeah.
And then I think the fact that Drew Brees is out is definitely giving us the advantage there. And tight end, they're kind of, they always rotate someone in and seems to do a job. But I definitely think the similarities are just spooky.
They are very similar in how they're constructed as well. And I forget the other running. Is it Latavius Murray?
Yeah, they brought him in from Minnesota over the summer.
Yeah, that's right.
Or picked him up through free agency or something like that. Like, you know, you're thinking, Jesus, you're getting a step off from Mark Ingram. No, you're not. You've Latavius Murray, and he's decent.
But I mean, as it turns out, as we talk about the Saints' offense, when it comes in terms of Latavius Murray, he seems to be the odd man out. Since Kamara just seems to be. I mean, we're all expecting it anyway, though.
Yeah.
Since we've seen, you know, but he just seems to be flying. And especially since Drew Brees has gone out, he's been the guy that everybody's leaning on in terms of the offense. So, in terms of Kamara versus Zeke, right?
Yes.
Right. I know we're going to be biased, right? But what is it that Kamara does that's better than Zeke and vice versa, right?
I think again we're saying that its similarities are spooky. I think Kamara is maybe a slightly bigger, more wrecking ball type running back, where Zeke is very much elusive, gets out of the backfield, and when they get to the secondary, I think Kamara will try and bulldoze through you, where Zeke will try and be elusive. He'll try and give you a move, or he'll try and go over the top of you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like if we're going to be honest about it, I think you're talking alongside that guy who plays for the Giants. I think you're talking about the 3 best running backs in the league, and it's not even close.
So, as you just alluded to there, we played Barkley already. He had a very good first half. Do you expect the same with Kamara, that Kamara's gonna be the guy leaking?
I think he will. Yeah, I think with the human log himself still being out, for me it'll be interesting to see how Tristan Hill does this week if he's starting. Like, for me, I like when if there's one of the guys goes down in the middle, that Tyrone Crawford steps in, and you don't have a loss in there. But with Tyrone still being touch and go for Sunday, there is a drop, and I think it could be good for Tristan Hill. When he seems to be backed up, he seems to be happy, and he seems to get destructive.
Yeah, but I mean, from what I think, my gut feeling though is Tyrone Crawford's going to be playing this week.
Yeah, I think so.
My personal opinion, yeah. From what I've heard on the grapevine, especially today. But in terms of offense, we've got Tavon Austin back.
Mm-hmm.
He's back in the mix, so expect to see him probably more on special teams, I imagine.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. But we do have Michael Gallup still out.
Yeah.
And we've got an issue with Zach Martin, who didn't attend practice today, back injury. So I don't know if that's just precautionary and they're just relaxing him. Like how they used to do with Romo.
Yeah.
Never used to give him in the week. So we wait until we hear a bit more on that. I think everything's going to be fine there. To me, it sounds more precautionary and letting the guy rest.
Yeah.
But you said about the Saints O-line. Who do you give the edge to? The Cowboys O-line or the Saints?
Oh, definitely our O-line. Definitely our O-line. I mean, with Travis Frederick coming back, we all hoped and prayed that we would get the Travis Frederick pre that autoimmune disease he had last season. Yeah. And whilst he's not fully back, it's Travis Frederick. And as I kind of said over the summer, no disrespect to Joe Looney, he filled in well. But when you have the best center in the league on your team, him at 90% against Joe Looney at 150%, it's not even a close competition.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to see, is Travis just gradually coming along and hitting that 91, 92, 93% mark.
Yeah. I forgot to mention as well, I wrote this down as well, Amari Cooper is out with an injury as well, foot injury. But I don't know if, again, that's just precautionary and leaving him out.
Yeah.
He left last week with a foot injury. I'll find out some more and I'll post it up in the group explaining if he's back in or what have you. I haven't had a day on that yet. Right, but quarterbacks. So, as you say, Drew Brees is out, so that is obviously a bonus for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Bridgewater, he didn't seem to do too bad last week, but again, as we talk about how the Saints and the Cowboys are offensively, Dak and Teddy Bridgewater, how similar are they as a quarterback, but also how different are they?
They're both game managers.
Mm-hmm.
In that they will try and manage the game, and they will try and hand the ball off to the running back, They will try and throw it. I think Dak has the advantage in his throwing, but Dak's next biggest advantage is he can also tuck and run.
Yeah.
You have that triple option of tuck, run, or pass with Dak. I don't think you have that with Teddy Bridgewater. He's too small. Like seeing him going into a secondary, he's going. You fear for him, whereas you don't with Dak.
So do you not see Bridgewater then as a running quarterback? Because I mean, he is known to use his legs. I mean, I didn't really get to see much of him last week because obviously since he had that really horrific injury with his leg.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more he uses his legs. I didn't really get to watch much of the game.
Yeah, see, I think that's taken away from him now. With that injury and as horrific as it was, it's taken away that speed he would have had, and the elusiveness. And I mean, I've never broken my leg or anything like that, or had that kind of an injury, but I know I wouldn't like to put myself in that kind of a risk. One hit, it's his career could be over. And
go on. Sorry, I'm not going to.
No, that was it.
Oh, okay. So, in terms of Teddy Bridgewater's strengths, if the Saints were to get a win against Cowboys defense, what would it be? This Teddy's strength that would get them the win. Then, what's his biggest pinnacle? If you were to put a pin into what it is.
Yeah, I think it's he'll get the ball to those who can do things. He'll try and get it out. I definitely can see Kamara is going to run the ball a lot. The kind of the stat line that I saw from last weekend, and maybe I'm not remembering this correctly, was he had less than 300 yards through the air. With a wide receiving and tight end core like they have, and I'm on record as saying this. I think Michael Thomas is the best receiver in the league. The fact that Thomas didn't, I don't think Thomas had over 100 yards last weekend, was disappointing. So maybe that line will pick up next weekend. It was his first big game in what is it, 4 years possibly? Since he left Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't think it's that long, is it? Because I think he played in a game. Because I can remember him crying on the sideline after he played a game.
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
Yeah, but the fact that it's on him. But I think if we could get pressure going early. I know we're going to talk about this in a few minutes. If we could get our D line getting through, and it's not going to be easy for them to do it. With a healthy Tank and a fast improving Robert Quinn, it's going to be get the pressure on him early, and he could get spooked. Okay,
so you really think for I to be honest with you, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm getting more out of you. But you think that it really is getting to Bridgewater to shut that offense down? Then it's literally on the pass rush.
Yes, it is. But I also think like that he's gonna be smart. As I say, he's a good game manager, so he's gonna look to try and draw the pass rush in, and then hope that he can give the ball to Kamara, and Kamara's then going bowling into the secondary and trying to bulldoze over Jalen and Leighton Van Der Esch. But we've seen other running backs try and do that and fail miserably.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll move since we're pretty much segueing into the defense. So the Cowboys defense versus the Saints defense. Who'd you give the edge to there? Because I mean, this is pretty much going to be the Cowboys' biggest test so far.
Yeah, I think it's I would give them the edge in the trenches.
Yeah.
I think Cam Jordan, and I know last year when the draft happened and we saw them make the big move to go get Marcus Davenport, I think every one of us in the group was like, what kind of a move is this? Who's Marcus Davenport? And to be fair to the kid, he showed up last year, and you're definitely going, yeah, that was a solid move from the Saints to go get him. in the linebacker core, we're winning there all day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's hard to see a better linebacking core than we have, and then the secondary, I'm looking, I'm going, I'm sending Devin Smith up against Eli Apple all day of the week. You're just going 2 former Ohio State boys. Let Devin, especially if, as you say, Amari Cooper is out. I would let Devin Smith go straight into that position and let him fly.
Yeah, I don't think Amari Cooper's out. I mean, all I caught is a little info that he injured his. I'll find a bit more out and put it in the group when this comes out, just to keep people updated, so they're not going completely mad when they watch it. But yes, so I mean, you alluded to a couple there. So on the Saints defense, if we were to say, God forbid they do come away with a win, it's on the defensive side. The Saints defense, the boys that keep the Cowboys offense down. Who would be the guys really then that you think would be the pinnacle for that reason? Who are their playmakers on defense?
It's Cam Jordan and Demario Davis.
Okay,
they're the guys they're going to look to. I think they're the 2 captains on their defensive side of the game as well. I think they're going to look to definitely try and get an edge over Lyle Collins. So Cam Jordan will be coming off the left side and trying to get at Lyle. Good luck to him with that, because Collins has been balling out this year. I think he's been the pick of the offensive lineman, to be honest. And that big new contract has sparked something in him. Demario Davis is he's a tackling machine. He will put himself in the way of anything that moves. As I say, kind of a little bit like my man over the shoulder, Mr. Lee. He will put himself into situations he shouldn't, and he'll put himself on the line. And they would be the 2. As I say, their secondary. Looking down that list, maybe their safeties they're serviceable, but if you're going to ask me for a crazy prediction for the weekend, Von Bell will probably pick up an interception.
So Marshawn Lattimore, I mean, he's I find him quite a decent cornerback.
I think he's been disappointing. I think there was a lot more expected of him. Now maybe I'm totally talking out my rear end on this, and possibly was he defensive rookie of the year his rookie year? Himself and Kamara, I think, were the same year, were they?
I don't know. I have to check.
Yeah, but he if that's the case, I don't think he's taken that step on either. I mean, if we flip it over to our side of the ball, in terms of we put Byron back into the corner last autumn or last off season, and he's up there with the best shutdown corners. Now Byron can still be beaten. We've seen that. We saw that towards the end of the season, but Byron moved into that elite category of cornerbacks, whereas Marshawn Lattimore just hasn't seemed to make that progress yet.
Okay. Now on the Cowboys defense, so we're going to go a bit controversial here. First of all, the pass rush has been a bit of a conversation lately, and also the lack of interceptions. Do the Cowboys pass rush, do they need to do a lot more this week than what we've seen over the recent weeks? Although I did hear an interesting stat that Robert Quinn had 7 quarterback pressures in his first game as a Cowboys, which is a heck of a lot.
Yeah. I think I was about to touch on this on the Dolphins post game show that I think as Robert Quinn becomes match fit, and the pressure comes on from the secondary, I think we've been this close to interceptions on multiple occasions. I think with the Xavier Woods one week 2, with the Jeff Heath one, where he cleaned out Hearns on Sunday, and I think when that pressure is there, and as I kind of alluded to earlier, if we can get the pressure on Teddy Bridgewater, he's not the best thrower of the ball. He can be a little bit loose. So if you can get him being a little bit loose with the pressure coming through from Tank, from Robert Quinn on both sides, and possibly with Malik Collins coming up the middle, it makes him then throw the ball, and hopefully, touch wood, we have the first interception on the board this year.
Okay. So what odds have you got that it becomes our first interception this week?
About 5-1.
Oh, I'll take that. Okay, yeah. I'll take. Yeah, I'm happy with the odds.
And as for who's going to go first, normally for me, I would say Anthony Brown is our guy for an interception. I'll go controversial. I'm going to go Cheeto this week.
Oh, do you know who I would go for an interception? Only because he seems to have the Saints offense nailed down. Jordan Lewis.
That could be a good one. That could be a very interesting one. It was Lewis got the interception last year, wasn't it? One of those acrobatic Jordan Lewis type interceptions.
Yeah. And he was flying in that game. He pretty much hands down won that game on his own.
Yeah.
In terms of injuries on the defense, I mean, there's a few going on, but the good news is Xavier Woods is fit and healthy. So I think we expect to see him this week. Apart from that, I mean, there's just the usual names and faces that we already know about Gifford and such. As I just mentioned, Luke Gifford, one of the stories that come out this week is people's complaints, which I'm sure that you can put UK Cowboys at rest, that people are saying there's an issue with the linebackers, more specifically Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch. They're saying that there's a lack of production and they're getting beaten. So I turned around defending it, saying you're talking more of an issue of game script. Now, bear in mind, Jalen Smith is a middle linebacker, and the main focus of your middle linebacker is not how many sacks or interceptions you get, it's tackles. Now, if I see a linebacker with a high amount of tackles, I'm happy. I don't want to see a high amount of tackles from my cornerback or my safety, because then that means linebackers aren't doing their job.
Yeah.
But for you, is there an issue with Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch?
Hell no. I mean, I think if we look at the way we're playing now, I've said it many times in the shows. The two of them are now playing as the sideline to sideline. We've nearly gone to a 2 linebacker core rather than going strong, weak, and Mike. So like that, their numbers are so high. And the numbers for our cornerbacks and safeties are not high. So as you alluded to, if that's the way it is, that's what you want. They're playing everything in front of them. I think effectively you're playing both of them as your middle linebacker, because they both have the intelligence, they both have the sight, and they're standing that far back from the line that they're making decisions based on what they're seeing in front of them. They're not down in the box and going, okay, we're having to react. They can see the field in front of them, make their decision, make their move, make their tackle. I think, being honest with you, I think a lot of people, not just maybe in Cowboys Nation, but everywhere in the NFL, has fallen crazily in love with a certain Mr. TJ Watt. And the fact we passed over him and what he does in the defense for the Steelers. But the Steelers are a 3-4 defense. So TJ Watt's primary role is to be that edge guy and go get sacks, go get hits on the quarterback, put the pressure on. That's not the way we play in Dallas. Our guys read what's in front of them, make their decisions, make smart plays on the ball.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest with you, maybe not so much Leighton Vander Esch, but certainly Jalen Smith is a lot better as a linebacker if everything's in front of him. So he's back playing forward as opposed to in the box playing back. Because it seems to be he's trying to track backwards. That's when it all goes wrong for him. And then you get these bags with him holding and defensive pass interference.
You do.
Go on.
And I think there's also a thing that a lot of people seem to remember, the Jalen Smith that played for Notre Dame, where he did play down in the box. And Jalen Smith is a former Butkus Award winner. And
yeah, that's true.
He was just that good at the college level that he could go and he could attack the quarterback. He could get sacks. He could make things happen. He's not playing that role in Dallas. So you're trying to compare Jalen Smith who played in college to Jalen Smith today it's incomparable. They're two totally different players.
I think a lot of it, like I say, people are making complaints of it, and other things, like Joe Thomas was on the field instead of Jalen, he was on the bench. But it's like the one I was just kept on saying is, look, you've got to look at game script. If teams are playing from behind, like say all the teams have in the third quarter, what are they doing? They're throwing the ball. So immediately it becomes a game of get to the quarterback as quickly as you can. If you can't, the guy's throwing the ball out on the wing. So it's down to the cornerbacks to do their job.
Yeah, it is.
The linebackers certainly end up becoming the sort of the lost man in that particular type of game script.
Yeah.
Not that they haven't got a job to do, because they still got a job to do, but their job is a lot less in that game script. But I mean, apart from that, I'm going to get a prediction from you. I want score prediction.
Right.
What's that?
24-18.
Ooh, a sneaky game, but still.
Yeah.
Okay. Who gets the most rushing yards, Zeke or Kamara?
Can I say Tony Pollard?
Oh, all right, okay.
No, definitely going to go for Zeke on that one.
Zeke, okay.
I think they're going to try and beat them up in the trenches.
Yeah. And who gets the most passing yards, Dak or Teddy?
Dak, absolutely, undoubtedly.
Okie dokie. But apart from that, mate, because it's only the pair of us, we've absolutely ripped through that this week.
Yeah.
But of course, don't forget to join us for the live group chat on game day. Everybody will be there, the whole crowd. We're also on Twitter on the play-by-play, and we'll be on Instagram as well, doing quarterly and touchdown updates as they come through. But apart from that, we're going to be back next week for the post-game show, celebrating another win. I'm that confident we're celebrating another win.
And do we have something happening on Tuesday, or do we want to keep that as a surprise?
I'm not going to keep it as a surprise, but I'm not saying it on this show. I'm going to mention it all over the weekend. What the big surprise / big guest might be. All right, there might be.
Say no more.
I'm doing sneaky eyes. You could tell we've had a whiskey or two doing this show on a Friday night.
Absolutely. Nice Irish.
Yeah, I know. I just finished my last bottle. It's all gone. But anyway, apart from that, that's us for this week. As I say, join us next week on the show and join us on game day. But from myself and, of course, the luck of the Irish there, that's UK Cowboys TV.
Good night.